with another edition of Book Talk. And obviously, A Court of Frost and Starlight has been completed because it is so tiny compared
Yes.
to the other books here. But I have to say, over the course of all of last week, I read about 70 pages, and then I read the rest of it last night. So very nice and fresh in my brain. It was cute.
Right?
This entire book, and I mean this in the best way possible, this is a Christmas special.
Yes.
This is a Christmas special of just, if you see it, if you don't watch it, it's fine. You'll still kind of know what's going on for the most part in the next book. But if you do watch it, you get some insight and just fun little things with Feyre and friends.
Yes. No, and I remember during our episode last week, after you finished A Court of Wings and Ruin, you were like, I need like a palate cleanser. And I was like, girl, hold your horses. It's positioned so perfectly because there is so much intense shit that happens throughout the last, I want to say 200 to 300 pages of Wings and Ruin. It's like you are in a constant state of anxiety the entire. It's like boom, 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 and it's like the second things are like, we made it. Then it's like boom, like you do not get a chance to like breathe. And A Court of Frost and Starlight is literally just a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I know. There's a few things in here that are like, you get a little bit of sadness. They're talking about like people not coming home from war and like all that stuff, but like that's also what makes a Christmas special, right?
Yeah.
It's like to think of how you are well off compared to other people and all that good stuff. I like that we dove a bit into Feyre's painting. I like that she's utilizing it to, because also I was like, okay, she's a high lady now. What does she do? Like, what is her job? Because obviously as a high lord or a high lady, you have to be a person. Like, you have to, like, you have a job to, like, take care of and people to take care of. So I was like, what is she gonna do if Rhys is High Lord? Like, obviously you can split the duties, but, like, I don't know. I was like, what is she gonna do? And she's doing high lady stuff. She is working with children to deal with their post-traumatic stress and, like, they're painting, and she's having a fun time with that. I also did like, and I did read a few pages of Silver Flames so far. I have not.
That was going to be my next question.
I'm like maybe 10 pages. Like, I have not gotten that far into it. But like, I see what she's doing in this is like she's still jumping around to people, but like not indicating, unless I'm wrong, indicating chapters as from a certain person's point of view, which she did in this one.
Just read.
Okay. So far in this book, there's no indication at the top of the chapters about who we're dealing with. In this one, everybody's like has this, this is chapter 14 is recent, and we started off with like Cassian. We started off with Feyre, but anyway, we jumped around. We learned a lot more about the characters from their points of view, which I liked because I was like, not that I didn't feel close to them before, I feel closer because I know more about what's going on.
Sam, I actually think I need you to call out of work for the rest of this week, and you just need to do nothing except read Silver Flames.
I'm off tomorrow, technically.
Oh my God, you are not going to put that frickin' book down. Cancel all plans.
Things to do.
No, they're gone. They don't exist anymore.
I have to paint our room. That's like the thing I'm doing right now. That's my project. I'm Feyre. I'm painting.
It can wait, I promise.
I will definitely be working through it. I'm going to try and get it done in the next 2 weeks like I have been doing with the other books.
Not even just for the sake, like, I'm pushing this on you for you.
For my well-being?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so good. I cannot wait for another ACOTAR book. Like, I need it so bad.
I'm very interested to see what types of things are going to happen, because right now in this book we saw Tamlin is just hard. Like, he's just not good. He is in a very bad place.
He's straight up not having a good time.
That's the literary, analysis of Tamlin's character. He is just straight up not having a good time. He doesn't have any family or friends or staff at all in his house, and Lucian keeps showing up for pity just because of how long that they've known each other and been together and like everything. But like he's like not really wanting to be there either, because when Reese said he was going to go visit him, I was like, this can't end. Like I was expecting, I was like, okay, there's been no violence in this book at all. This is where the violence is going to happen. They're going to fight. It's going to be bad. Like that's what I was expecting. And then he went into it and he was like, basically Tamlin was like didn't have the will to even fight Reese for the things that he was like saying to him. And I was like, oh, for the man with severe anger issues to not get up and like physically harm something or someone, we're on a different layer of Tam Tam right now, for sure. It's not looking good. But that's a little concerning, figuring how big this one is and how this could have just been at the end of Wings and Ruin. She could have just tagged this on, like, but she said no. She's gonna make a tiny little book.
Yeah.
When I pulled this out, Michael was just like, "Where's the rest of it?" And I'm like, "No, this is it." And I was sitting there, and like, I was on page 70-ish, right? So about here, right? And this is everything I read last night. And Michael looked at me and he goes, "You'll finish that today." And I was like, "Okay." And I said, "I'll do that." And then I did it because it was just.
I remember even holding that one in my hands after Wings and Ruin, like felt funky. Like I was like, I don't know where to put my hands anymore.
Yeah, like you're like used to like having this claw, like
yes, it's like a death grip.
And then all of a sudden I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, this is like regular book length. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done. Finished.
I'm honestly like really struggling to read right now that I'm not in the fantasy realm. Like the last book I told you how many times.
Yeah.
Fucking awful. The one I'm reading now, it's crazy because so many people have recommended it to me, and so many people were like, oh, this is so good. This is so good. And it's Colleen Hoover. And I do enjoy Colleen Hoover. Like I read Ugly Love. I read It Starts With Us. It Ends With Us. I read Verity. I feel like, Reminders of Him. Loved them all. This one, I do not feel the same. And I'm like, it's because I miss my friends with wings. Like
that is fair. That is fair. I am a little nervous to like exit this. Also because I've went through it so quickly as well. Like I'm now on the last book, which I have to say, you were on the last book when I started, right?
Yes.
So I'm on the last book, and Erin, who I mentioned earlier, just started A Court of Thorns and Roses. And I'm like, this is how Jordyn felt.
Yes.
I was reading. So now it's like I'm in this like weird parallel universe where she just texted me and she read the first like 5 chapters like last night. And she was like, oh my God, her family is horrible. And I'm like, yes, they are quite terrible.
Yep. Now, so that's why it meant so much to me when we had someone comment, Jordyn's stone face is incredible, because you are going to feel all of those emotions and you are going to want to explode. I literally was sitting here like, you were like, I don't think I like Tamlin. I think I like Reese. And I was sitting here like, Meanwhile, I'm like, yes.
I know. I literally and this was over text. This wasn't even via face-to-face. So I'm like, I give Jordyn so much credit for listening to me ramble about these books for the last how like month and a half now.
Yeah.
Like crazy. So
no, but it has been so much fun. Thank you. And I'm proud of you for how quickly you're reading them. 2, it's been so fun for me to like watch it through, like watch you experience it. Because I remember when I was going through it, I was like, oh my God. Like, I just wanted to talk to people about, like I said, I rekindled a friendship with a girl that like I worked with one summer 4 years ago because of these books, just so like we could talk about it all the time. Like they literally, I can't explain it. I think Sarah J. Maas puts a little something strong in there because I am
Crack.
hooked. I was gonna say that.
These pages are lined with crack.
Yeah.
And I have to shout out to my dad who watches almost all of our content and has asked me this past Sunday. He was like, "So tell me about these books you're reading." And I'm like, "So it's fairies, but it's not actually like the fairies you're thinking. It's like people fairies." And he's like, "Uh-huh." And I'm like, "And there's war and politics, fairy politics, not like real politics, but it is like real life And he was like, "What are you reading?"
No, I tried. I had the same conversation with my mother, and I was like, "Girl, just trust me. Like, just take a chance.
Girl.
Girl, you're gonna have to trust me on this one." She literally texted me today, "What's that one book series? What's the first book series you read and loved?" And I was like ever in my life. I was getting ready to be like Junie B. Jones. Like, I don't know.
Harry Potter?
Yeah. And she was like, "The Court, question mark." And I
Oh
was like,
my God.
"A Court of Thorns and Roses."
I know. I appreciate my father trying to speak with me about things that are interesting to me, but I was like, "Dad, this is not
No.
your realm.
Yeah.
This is not for you." Um Also, something that Kat really wanted to know about when I first started it, she was like, "Let me know your thoughts on Nesta
Yes,
after
I
reading
do
this book." So, of course, I was like, "Yeah." And I understand because you had told me that there were some people who really liked her and some people who really fucking hated her.
Mhm.
And I understand how people would dislike her, especially after this book.
Mhm.
However, I do understand what she's going through based off of her personality and the way her brain works. And like, that's the kind of person she is. Like, she is a seclusionist. She's going to put herself up somewhere else. I don't understand the whole house thing though. I'm not going to lie. That's like the one thing that I'm not understanding. Like, I understand her being by herself and like doing her thing, going to bars, hanging out, doing her thing. But like, I'm like, why does she want to live in a shitty house? Is
Yeah.
it because it reminds her of her dad because they lived in a shitty house? Like, is that part of it? It's like that's what my first thought was, but I don't know. And in the again, first 10 pages of this book is Cassian knocking on her door. And I wanted more of them in this book. I wanted more and I didn't get it. So I'm really hoping I get more in this book because I kind of thought that this book was kind of going to revolve around them a little bit more. Like that was my thought going into it and that just wasn't the case. I mean, we learned about them a little bit, but I was like, I thought this was literally going to be like a Nesta Cassian love story and they are talk about a slow burn. We thought Reese and Feyre were a slow burn. God, Nesta doesn't even give him the time of day. It's rough. It's rough. Yep. Just smile and nod, Jordyn. Just smile and nod.
We need to end the show right now before I burst into flames. Silver flames.
I'm sorry. But anyways, Nesta is a very complicated and interesting character. And I get why people would be like, just fucking get over it. Elaine is doing better. Like, how come you're not doing better? Kind of deal. But like, everybody works at a different pace.
Yes.
Everybody has their own things. And she is going through a lot. She's dealing with a lot. She's got powers to deal with. She's got other shit in her brain to deal with. So I don't hate her.
I'm very, very, I didn't think you would. But I'm very happy to hear it. And I just cannot wait for the Silver Flames adventure. And then we can do a deep dive through the entire series. By the time you're wrapping up, I should be close to, I don't know what your book agenda is looking like, but I should be close to starting the Throne of Glass series.
Okay.
So if that's something you'd want to take on.
Take on together?
Yeah.
We could do that. I have to go get the books. But
I asked for them for my birthday.
I was going to read None of This Is True next.
Oh, you actually fuck everything I just said. You legitimately have to do that.
Yes.
None of this is true was so good.
I need to read the recommendation to you, to me, to you, to me.
Yes.
But
We are coming back full circle.
to tie up this edition of Book Talk, I just have to say how much I love the last few lines in this book, which is to the stars who listen, Feyre, to the dreams that are answered, Reese. It's like wedding vows. It's gorgeous. I love it. Very fun.
No, it
10 out
was
of 10.
chef's kiss, and now your journey is literally about to begin.